Okay, so when I started kind of like realizing what a fucked up world we live in, not just like with everything else, because like turn off the news, don't even watch that shit, that's crazy, but with how we are just kept inside of a box. We are intentionally kept small, we are intentionally told lies, we are intentionally made to believe things. Okay, like for example, good guys finish last. And then, when they finish last, everyone's like, oh, yeah, that's because that's true. No, honey, you were just told it was true. The real truth is, it's time for a switch, okay? It is time to change all of these stupid little narratives. Like, you've got to work hard to earn money. No, you don't. Or you have to, go to school and then go to more school and then get married and have a house and have a partner and have babies and do all this shit and, spend your life in debt and buy that house and charge up the credit cards and work 40 hours a week, right? I don't want to do that. I don't know. To retire at what? 40, 50, 60, 70 nowadays. Okay. That's not the life. That's not a life. There is no work-life balance. There's no quality of life. And I refuse to subscribe to this idea anymore of all of these stupid beliefs that have been intentionally instilled in us. Okay? And I believe that now is the time. I highly believe that now is the time to make that new world happen. And it's not just this stupid hippie dream. It's not just this like, oh yeah, this bleeding heart fantasy. No. All of us can come together and create this new world that's going to change everything. It's going to change the way that we operate, to change the way that, society happens. It's going to change the mower. Oh my goodness. The money, the power, the respect, like everything, right? Because if we flip the script of what's happening now, where we put, people that are operating under morals that we have to follow, but they don't, right? So like lying, cheating, stealing, murdering, all sorts of like corrupt behavior. That's how people get money. They're drug dealers, they're corrupt, they bribe, whatever. What if that isn't how it has to be anymore? What if we can put the good guys in charge and live a world that's actually authentic with these values that they make us follow, but they don't have to have applied to them, right? Because the more we see this of like, oh, well, I'm supposed to be a good person and live morally and have values and do the right thing, you are, right? But that you are. I am highly encouraging everybody to stay righteous, to stay truthful, to stay humble, to stay, in alignment with things of the highest good that help everyone and not hurt anyone, okay? And I believe that now is the time where we can actually work together and elevate this and flip the script, okay? And everyone's like, oh, well, that's just impossible, and it's the way it's always been. Right, well, this is the way it's always been by design, okay? This is the way it's been for hundreds and hundreds of years because that's the way that they told us, okay? So what they did is they made us all follow this like little playbook of, oh, this is what life's supposed to look like. Isn't it amazing? You go to, school forever, and then you go to more school that you got to pay for, and then you spend your life in debt and catching up and doing all these things, but it's a societal pressure. Everyone else is doing it. If you're not doing it, you are an outcast. You're an outlaw. You're a fucking weirdo. You are someone who doesn't conform and doesn't fit in. And they make that very, very clear that there's not a place for you. If you refuse to fall in line with the institutionalized lies and stupid shit that they use to control us, to keep us working for them, to keep us sacrificing our souls, our spiritualities, our life force, basically distracting us. So, break out of the matrix. It sounds so cheesy, right? Like, oh yeah, take the pill. I've never seen the movie, I wouldn't know, but like, that's real. When we say this, we mean that this life, especially that we've been told to live, where, modern day USA, everyone's debating about minimum wage. Oh, well, they don't deserve $17 to flip burgers. Well, also, nobody deserves to work 40, 50 hours a week and not be able to afford their own home, their own apartment, their own vehicle, their own freedom. I mean, when did we decide that the only thing that makes you worthwhile is how much you contribute to society or where you stand on this tier, right? Okay, well, celebrities don't do shit and they make millions of dollars. So do they deserve that? I don't think so. I'm sure that these people that are bitching about, you know, people wanting a living wage don't think so. Oh, those football players, they get paid a lot of money, and oh, the kneeling, you know who you fucking are. You know. And that's okay. There's no judgment here. Okay? But it is time to say, I see that. I acknowledge the way that the world is. And I'm choosing to no longer subscribe to that. And I would really, really like it if you guys would continue to hit that unsubscribe button on this fucking projected dream life, American dream, this reality, this, you know, fucking stupid ass illusion of working ourselves to death our whole lives so we don't figure out what else is going on. Okay, so like all of the other ways that you know, they keep us distracted and spiritually sick. So I had this thought, and everyone's gonna laugh, but like, oh hey man, like shoes man, oh they're here to, you know, distract us and you know, take away from our grounding, man. Like, you know, you can't stay grounded if you got shoes on, man. Take your shoes off and get in touch. And we look at these people and we're like, you're insane as fuck. You are high. You are a burnout. You are a plague on society. Every single person that comes to you and it's just like, hey man, this isn't right. Everyone's like, oh wow, they're fucking weird. There's something wrong with that person. What if there isn't? And I understand that it's going to be extremely difficult for a lot of people to suddenly like abandon ship of like all of these ideas. Like, oh, you got to work hard to make money. You have to, you know, do all of these things. Or what's another one? I don't even know. When it rains, it pours. Okay, well then once you start having all these shitty things happen and it's shitty thing, you're like, oh fuck yeah, when it rains it pours. Look at that, just confirms it. Okay, no. That didn't confirm it. You confirmed it because you're continuing to believe this false reality of things. Of ideas, of just sentences. At the end of the day, all of this is just sentences, right? So nice guys don't have to finish last, they can finish in first place every single time. We can restore that balance of justice. We are all coming into an age, not even like with like woo-woo bullshit, like with planetary alignments. Check out that shit. What are they doing? How have they been moving? What's going on that hasn't been going on for a long time? Okay? That's intentional. But if we want to just stay here and just continue just, you know, co-signing to, yeah, that sounds great. I want to work my life away. I want to, you know, be so trapped making other people money that I don't even have a thought for myself or a dream or a goal for myself. If you would like to live like that, please continue to do so. No judgments. I love you, and I hope that that is a very successful path for you to continue to stay on. Every other person that is like, yo, there's something wrong here, this isn't right, it's time to stop living on those suspicions or just saying like, wow, yeah, that's the way it is, but that's just the way it is, and then, you know, things will never be the same, and then just giving up on it. That's not what we're meant to do. We're supposed to be like, wow, no, this is fucked up. And instead of just being like, well, it's fucked up, let's just, you know, what's for dinner? Where are we gonna go this week? You know, excuse me, we're working. I don't know. I'm just gonna stop beating that dead horse because we're working way too fucking much to enjoy way too little of our lives, our money, our prosperity, our creativity. Okay? And how it works is the people who have the secrets, they have given us a playbook. They're like, yo, check this out. But they've given us just enough of a playbook to give us the hope while still instilling fear, right? To give us prayer, but also doubt, okay? Belief, non-belief. Like, they have given us enough of the secret, so to speak, right? Of like tapping into like your own divinity, tapping into like your own creation, like tapping into like the idea that like there is more going on here, right? I had a squirrel moment, lost my train of thought, but now we're back. So they've given you enough breadcrumbs, right, to keep you compliant, to keep you like praying but going unanswered. Okay? And what happens when that happens? How many people have you heard that sit there and they pray and they pray and they pray and they're asking God for miracles, and a miracle shows up and it's not big enough, or they miss the signs, or it's not on their time, it's on divine time. Hi. It's on divine timing, okay, which is never on time. Oh my God, like, hello, the universe, like, first off, if you demand things, you're gonna end up like that, like, fucking blueberry lady off of Willy Wonka. Because no, they're not going to accept that. They're not going to look at you and be like, wow, okay, yeah, here you go, I guess, right? There's a difference between like, I guess, like brat energy, bully energy, and like claiming energy. So like to a certain extent, you have to like, you know, live in Delulu land and be like, yo, I'm going to like bully what I'm seeing and what I'm looking at and trick it into being reality with where I want to be at, okay? There's a difference between that and like telling the universe like, I want it now, and getting absolutely unhinged or full of doubt or whatever when it doesn't happen. So let's loop back to that. So how many people have you heard just pray and pray and pray and it's not happening? Or, you know, God misses them, God's not hearing them. No, honey, God hears you, but the universe is never on time, and it's never going to give you exactly what you want when you want it, or if you don't have a plan. Okay, so like, let's say like, oh man, God, I really want to win the Powerball. I need to win this money. I need to win this money. And you know, time and time again, you're buying your tickets and they're not hitting. Like, maybe you got a few numbers, so your ticket cashes out for a couple bucks here and there, right? But that's not enough for you. You wanted all of it. You wanted the jackpot. So like, how fucking dare you give me a playback? How dare you give me, you know, $4, you know? And then you start to get mad and doubtful, and you're like, wow, God doesn't hear me, God doesn't care, God doesn't listen, God doesn't give me anything. No. God heard you. God gave you small money. Small money turns into big money, but it only turns into big money if you don't lose your doubt. If you don't lose your doubt, okay? But the second that you conform to that idea of he didn't hear me, it's not coming, I don't deserve it, like I never get what I want, the more you're not going to get what you want. The more that's going to be your story, your life, your narrative, until you sit down with yourself and be like, you know what? Nah, I want to read a new book. And we're gonna close this one. Nothing wrong with this book. It was a fine book. Give it a little Home Depot soul pat, right? Just pat the book. You've been a fine book. You've been a really nice season. But I think it's time we move on to another book. And like, ooh, this one's a hardcover. Ooh, this one was read before, so it has like, you know, some bent pages where like maybe you can take some notes. Like, this book is way better, so don't be afraid to close that other book and hop into this new book, right? But if you look at it like, okay, well, open your eyes, see the signs. It might not be what you wanted, but was it something? Was it more than nothing? Okay, if the answer is more than nothing, then your mouth should be saying grateful things. You should be praising the fucking universe. Fuck yeah, I won $4. First off, that's your money back. Second off, that's enough to buy another ticket. Okay? So if you stay in this mindset of gratitude, of thankfulness, of knowing without doubt, without fear, that miracles can happen and they are coming and they are happening, the more you will start to see them. The more you're going to tell your brain to look for miracles, even if they're small miracles, and celebrate those instead of looking at these things and being like, wow, that wasn't a miracle enough for me. Can you imagine receiving a miracle and having the audacity to tell the universe that it wasn't enough, that it wasn't big enough for you, that it wasn't best enough for you, that it wasn't, it was too small for you? Can you imagine having the audacity to tell that to God? Not me. One thing that my mother has said, always, and still to this day says, is thank you. If she's looking for something and suddenly finds it, thank you. If she is uncertain and, suddenly something works out in her favor or she gets an answer, thank you. Okay? Every single thing. Oh my God, your car started today? Thank you. The bus remembered to pick you up? Thank you. You had a breakthrough at work and finally got that raise? Thank you. Okay. Who cares? The old you could be saying like, oh, it was just a 50-cent raise. The new you is going to say, we got a 50-cent raise. If you start living like your cup is half full all the time, it is going to overflow. You follow me? So what they've done is the 1% has tapped into these secrets of finding the divinity inside yourself, the creator inside yourself, like actually living the life that you are meant to live. That's not the life that we're living right now. And they have removed the most important parts. Okay, so they've given us just enough to breadcrumb us, but then they've partnered it up very, very wisely with things that are on the opposite side of the spectrum. Okay, so you have hope and then you have fear. You have, love, and then you have hell, which is just hateful, right? You have sin and redemption. You have all of these things that kind of they teach you teeter-totter with one, and they go back and forth, right? So you're not going to have, hope without fear. That's what you're programmed to believe, right? Or you're programmed to doubt things. Even when I receive signs and miracles, I doubt them. I sit there and I've said out loud, even up into a month ago, no way. No, I didn't just see that. I didn't just hear that. And then the universe has this really funny way of sending external confirmation. So the other day I saw an eagle and I didn't think that I saw that right. I was like, no, because I've never seen an eagle where I am. I've lived in my house for 3 years. Okay. I've been in here for over 4 or 5 years in Florida. Okay. Never ever seen a bald eagle. In Minnesota, all the time. Here in suburbia, no. So I put my dog inside. I come back outside and I'm looking for this eagle. Can't find it. And all of a sudden I hear someone from the industrial side of my neighborhood yell, eagle. And I'm like, okay, why would I even dare to doubt my reality, to say, no, that wasn't a miracle, let's fix this? What? To doubt a miracle, to say, no, I didn't just see that. When I find feathers, no, what? That's not real. Sister, it's real. It is real. As intangible as in you're holding it in your hand, right? So why time after time after time? I'm so bad at this. I tell myself that's not real. Or, if someone tries to give you money for something simple, like giving them a glass of water, water's free, that's a human right, and they give you some money, oh no thanks. No, take that money because the universe is watching, is listening. If someone's giving you blessings and the universe only sees you turning them away, the universe will start pulling that shit back, sister. Okay, smile, be grateful, be thankful. Okay, so the 1% have figured this out. They have figured out how to rise above the fear and the doubt and all of these negative things that aren't even real, that keep you from attaining true, that keep you from achieving better things. to keep you small, to keep you limited, to keep you living the life that pays for their life. They don't wake up every morning and say, how am I going to pay my bills? They don't wake up every morning and question their worth, their value, have to struggle or fight for, self-esteem, for a paycheck, for human rights, human decency, kindness. That none of this even crosses their mind. They don't wake up and say, oh, I got to work 40, 50 hours a week and still got to figure out how to pay my rent, right? So to just kind of like boop, 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 long story short, but not really, because you're still watching. It's time that we realize that we can do the exact damn thing that they are, okay? We can have the exact same life that they have. And it is very, very hard. It's easier than you think it is, but it is very, very difficult, right? To continue to reprogram yourself, to continue to deny reality and live in Delulu land, and say, you know what? I'm going to take that trust fall. I am going to just... When I finally gave up control, I am a control freak, but I am also like super ADHD. So like, boop, 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 boop. My OCD, my ADHD, like they're like a really longly married couple. They argue, they fight, but they somehow work out at the end of the day, sort of, whatever. No one gets divorced, okay? Because they're old school, so they stick together. But it's tough sometimes because I want to be organized, I want to do X, Y, and Z, but I can't, okay? So, you have to, A, be sick of your own shit, B, have to be self-disciplined enough to get into these new routines and ways of thinkings, into this new way of thinking. And C, you have to trust fall with the universe. What do I mean when I say that? I mean that when I started out this journey of blindly believing, again, because whatever, we'll talk about that later, of blindly believing that all of this journey, this hurt, this scarcity, this pain, this fear, this doubt, this journey that I've been on, especially hard for the past 3-4 years, is worth something, okay? That it is for divine purpose, that there is this huge shift coming in for me and for everyone else, that is going to change everything. And when I did this trust fall, I was explaining it to people like I'm crazy. And you also have to shake that mentality because you're not crazy. Okay, like what's crazy is working our lives away to enjoy 5 or 10 years of retirement, maybe, if we're able to get that far, save money, or if we don't die first. Sorry, knock on wood. But like, it's impractical, and it's not something that I want to do. So I just started changing little things, changing little habits, and blindly believing that everything works out, and removing doubt and fear. And even if things aren't going my way, even if I'm scared, even if I don't have a plan or a backup plan, I don't let myself think about that anymore. When I say blind trust fall, I mean, it is like I just fell out of a spaceship, or I don't even know, whatever, a rocket, whatever goes into space, okay? And just went backwards, like I'm doing a snow angel, okay? And the closer I get to, the atmosphere, the more I really want to look back and be like, okay, like you got me, and then now I'm breaking through the ozone. I'm coming through, like I'm in airspace, and I have to fight that urge to really check it and look back and be like, hey God, you said you got me, right? Hey universe, I'm protected. And rather than look for confirmations and try to prove it to myself, because that's where you're gonna get fucked up, and you're gonna start letting doubt and disbelief come back in and ruin everything for yourself. I just had to let go and say, you know what? Yep, you got me. And full belief on that. Okay, like I had to 10 down, double down, all chips on the table. I am in full faith that everything that is meant for me will A, not pass me, and B, will come to me without effort. I forgot that I don't need to chase blessings. I don't need to chase miracles. I don't need to force. Neither do you. You need to let it flow. Okay? Start being grateful and thankful for all of like the small miracles, the small signs, the small yeses, the small victories, the small anythings that you have. Okay? Because the more that you start acknowledging, accepting, and thanking that, especially out loud, hey, thanks, universe. Thank you. Super grateful. The more that you will start getting and getting and getting and getting. Okay? And this is what they know that you don't know. They're playing this game of I know something you don't know, right? And that's it. Okay? It is to have all of the right audacity to take chances and believe and have blind faith and remove that fear, that doubt, all of those limiting beliefs, all of those limiting phrases, because those aren't real. Those are things meant to keep us working, to keep us compliant, to keep us checked the fuck out, to keep us making money for them, making their dream life, and sacrificing our own lives. Okay? So let me break this down to you, because also like the whole concept of, we're human beings that have a soul and you need to save your soul. No, your soul's here to save human beings. Okay? But on that note, not everyone's soul is here to save human beings. And that's why we've been living the way that we've been living for so long. Okay? Because the wrong energies have had the power. That's where this whole thing comes full circle. So if we start believing that the right people and the right entities and the right energies deserve to have the power, and we start working to dismantle, disbelieve, and unsubscribe from this whole reality of whatever the fuck they created, okay? It's time. And if we all act on that, believe on that, and continue to rise up, we're gonna see a whole new world. And it sounds so corny and like whatever, but like, is it? Is it? Or is it fucking awesome? Is it something that we all deserve? Is it something that can benefit everyone's experience? Whatever you believe, whatever background you come from, whatever you choose to align with, not align with. Okay, like, what if it could change everyone's experience everywhere? What's wrong with that? What's corny about that? What's too hard to believe about that? Okay, like, what's too good to be true about that? Absolutely nothing. What is wrong with that is the idea that, greed wins, evil wins, that, there's no good way to be a good guy and stay up. Those gotta go. We are chucking those ideologies out of the window completely, because the cheat code is we don't have to sacrifice our morals, our values, our beliefs, things that make us good, wholesome, all of the good things that they have given us, the good breadcrumbs that they've given us to limit us, okay? We don't have to sacrifice those. We have to sacrifice the partnered beliefs with those. The fear, the doubt, the insecurities, the lack of faith, all of these things that have been intertwined. Separate them, and then we're going to take the good stuff and we're going to run with that, okay? And we're going to change the world with that. No longer do you have to be a bad person to get ahead in this world. No longer will you be lying, cheating, and stealing your way to the top, to money, to power, to whatever, okay? Because that is not what I'm choosing to subscribe to anymore. And whether or not you believe this or anyone else believes this is something that I am firmly choosing to believe. We are going to live in a new world. It gets me so excited, because we deserve the justice, everyone, okay? We deserve to see a pure world where it's no longer, well, that's how it's always been, or like what are we gonna do about it? This is what we're gonna do about it. We're gonna speak up, we're gonna rise up, we're gonna change the fucking frequency. We're going to get in and get them out, okay? Because that is how we save the planet, that's how we save ourselves, that's how we save everyone. And forever, I thought that, like, I had to come on here and look a certain way, that I had to have a consistent background and an aesthetic and makeup, because, oh my God, God forbid I went anywhere without makeup. Holy fuck. You wouldn't catch me, 15 years ago anywhere without makeup. No. And I had to just, I kept limiting myself and holding myself back by pretending like I had to fit into this perfect, polished presentation. That is so not me. I'm messy, chaotic, I'm unhinged, I am, I don't know, all the right kinds of chaotic. Okay, I'm a nuisance. But, respectfully. Okay? And if I continued to subscribe to this idea that I needed to look a certain way, or have a special background, or, edit my videos, or do X, Y, and Z, I would never be on here. Something else I had to let go of too is the who cares? Well, what will everyone think? Oh, honey, everyone already thinks. Everyone already talks. Do I really think that, that matters? Why am I keeping myself small because of what people are gonna say? Fuck them. Let them talk. Hi. I hope that we can live in a better world someday. That's what I have to say. If you would like to disagree, that's okay. Okay? We're all in this together. Hit that High School Musical, bitch. Let's go. But that's no longer gonna stop me and keep me afraid and small and oh, well, what if, or, oh God, what do I look like? No. The insecurities, the doubts, the fears, the idea that I have to be a certain way, those were all things that would have just never allowed me to spread the message. Okay? And I'm not certified. I'm nothing. I'm a girl. I am just a girl who has a lot to fucking say. And I know that it's going to hit the right people and it's going to resonate the right ways. And we are going to have a whole new world. So get your rugs, get your genies, get your lamps, get your fucking tigers, get fucking that tiger guy out of jail. Fuck Carol Baskins. Just kidding. Sorry, I'm gonna edit that out maybe. I don't know. We'll just don't. Sorry, I'm sorry I said that, but maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I just think it's time that a lot of us start getting together, waking up, realizing that honey, this ain't it. I think that we all want a lot more out of life, and we shouldn't have to fight for scraps. We shouldn't have to sit here and beg to get back to our roots, to our spirituality, to just be so deprived and starved in every way, shape, and form. That's something that we're not going to be doing anymore, okay? And it is going to benefit so many people. It is going to heal the world. I mean that. I really, really mean that. We are going to heal the world. So partake if you want to. Sit on the bench if you want to. Talk shit if you want to. That's cool. Okay? I accept all of it. And I forgive all of it. If it's bad. Whatever. If you're ready, come with. Please. And start speaking your truth too. I'm sure a lot of people have a lot of things to say. Don't let your insecurities, your doubts, your fears, judgment hold you back from getting this throat chakra opened up, baby. No longer am I going to sit around with a raspy throat with, sitting in silence and, kind of just letting the world pass me by and just be like, well, that's the way it is. That's the way it was. And that's the cold hard facts. For a lot of people, it's going to be very, very difficult to unsubscribe, to reject, to come to terms with the fact that we deserve a better reality, that we deserve a better world, because they've known nothing else. They've known 50, 60, 70 years of this is how it is, don't question it, what do you mean, so that is their, tower moment, right? What do you mean my life is a lie? And people aren't going to sit with that well. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to, choose to stay where they're at, and that's fine. But I believe that there are a lot more people that are going to be like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. And you're right. What are we fucking doing here? Because what are we doing here, people? Not living the lives that we want to live. Okay? It shouldn't be a struggle, a fight. It shouldn't be anything to get basic human rights, to get basic human amenities. Okay? And the fact that, like, we are honestly sitting here tearing ourselves apart as a country over politics, over minimum wage, over all this shit that doesn't matter, because this is what that's what it is. That is 1,000% what it is. This is a puppet, if you guys can't understand what I'm doing with my hands. Okay, like this little weird boo-boo-doo-doo, this is supposed to be a puppet because that's what they're fucking doing. That's why don't watch the news. Don't listen to fucking politicians. Don't do anything but go into yourself and figure out who the fuck you are. What the fuck you were meant to do here. Okay? Because, like, celebrities don't matter. Your spirituality matters. Politicians don't fucking matter. Your soul matters. Like, your truth matters. Like, stop staying distracted by all of these things that are meant to keep us spiritually sick and detached and checked out. Please. Because if we all start doing the work, doing the digging, let's fix that. And saying no thank you to what we've been sold, it's going to get so much fucking better. Okay? But we all have to just trust, believe, start working on that shit. That's free. Affirmations are free. Good guys finish first. I deserve to be loved. I don't have to work hard for money. I deserve to live comfortably. Basic needs come easy to me. Things that are just things that you should be telling yourself. Or how many times I suck at taking compliments. It made me extremely uncomfortable. So here's an exercise that will make you extremely uncomfortable if you are like me. It is, or maybe you have an easy time accepting compliments. I would recommend this activity, exercise, whatever you want to call it. I would recommend that either way. How many times has someone else told you that they love you, they're proud of you, you're doing great? You know, maybe the answer is 1,000,000, maybe the answer is 0. Okay. The only time it should matter is one time. And that's when you're talking with yourself. Okay. And this is where I had to get really, really uncomfortable. But it's going to pay off. Okay? Look at yourself in the mirror and stare into your eyes and give yourself compliments like strangers or your friends or your family, or maybe no one has ever given you. Look into your eyes and tell yourself things that you wish people would say to you, things that you believe about yourself. I'm kind. I'm generous. I'm very lovable. I love me. I'm proud of me. Things that build yourself up but are very, very hard to actually sit with and tell yourself these things. Why is that? Why is it weird to tell yourself that? For me, I think it's just because I associated like self-esteem and positive self-esteem with ego. Fuck ego. We don't like ego. That's gross. That's narcissism. That's not okay. Okay. We're removing that belief. Healthy self-esteem is self-care. It is self-love. It is selfless. Because the more you love yourself, the better you're going to love other people. The more you're going to shine without trying, because it is genuine, it is authentic, it is coming from a state of pure vibrational love. Okay? So maybe people tell you this, maybe people don't tell you this, but sit with yourself and please look yourself in the mirror if you feel comfortable to do so, or if you don't feel comfortable, whatever, I don't know, do what you want to do. But this is just whatever. I'm gonna not. But start being that person that is proud of yourself, that loves yourself. that puts yourself first without harming others, but says, hey, you know what? I fucking matter because you do. I deserve to be supported because you do. I deserve love because you do. Everyone does. Like, maybe, no, I'm not even gonna go there. Everyone deserves love, okay? There goes your hippie bullshit again, right? Like, ooh, Woodstock, free love. Like, right, but like, wouldn't that be a better world than what we're living in right now? Filled with hate, fear, doubt, of people, you know, divided? I think so. So, get to loving yourself. Get to being proud of yourself. Get to building up the home inside of yourself that no one else can take away, right? Because fuck what other people think. Who cares? Who cares? What do you think of yourself? Do you like yourself? Do you love yourself? And is that foundation unshakable? Like, for me, I have to sit with that and like build this very humble foundation of like, yes, I love me, and I know that by loving myself, I'm going to be able to help other people. And so for me, that's how I remove the ego and like the ick of like, oh, I love myself, because, you know, that doesn't have to look like, oh, I love myself, you know. And forever I thought that that's what it was too. It can just be like, you know, man, I have a really healthy relationship with what I have going on, and it took a long time, so I'm going to be proud of that. I'm going to celebrate that, and going to continue to work on that and develop that, because it is a nonstop process. Just like, you know, it's a nonstop disco. If you know, you know. Yeah. But that's kind of like why I'm getting out here and saying what I need to say, because I've had a fucked up last 4 years, okay? I moved to Florida. I ruined my life. I learned a lot of fucking hard lessons the hard way, because that's how I operate. That's how I learn my lessons. You can tell me once, you can tell me twice, but I'm gonna want to face plant into that briar patch before I admit defeat. And even then, I'm not gonna admit defeat. Well, I didn't used to. Now I will admit defeat, because rejection is redirection. Okay, it's not anything to be ashamed of. It is, it's a flow. It's a constantly moving process. It's like, wow, okay, yeah, these past couple of years have been absolutely traumatic in every single way, shape, and form. But what was the lesson? Once I got out of that mess and let it be a message